Previously on part 1 of the Canine Condition, visiting Arizona.
I decided it was important to go to Arizona. There are thousands of homeless and stray and abandoned and abused and neglected dogs in this state as well. And I wanted to find out why and who's helping.
The people who take those puppies take them because they feel bad for the puppy. They don't do it because they want them.
We are trying to not just address abuses and issues that exist, societal and otherwise. We are trying to prevent them and also impact our laws and our local ordinances.
When MASH was originally opened over here, it wasn't the large scale that it is now. And the inmates that staffed the MASH unit were in another program outside of MASH called Alpha. Officer Seibel with the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office MASH unit. MASH stands for Maricopa County Sheriff's Office Animal Safe Haven. The MASH unit is a one-of-a-kind rescue program. Back in 2000, there was a rash of cat mutilations taking place in Maricopa County. Sheriff Arpaio became interested in it and he formed the Animal Investigations Unit. The MASH unit works hand in hand with the Animal Investigations Unit. The Animal Investigations Unit is the actual detectives that are out in the field that specialize in animal crimes. Once they deem there's probable cause to execute a warrant, they'll get a hold of us. We'll go out and assist in executing the warrant. We'll seize the animals, always victims. The owners will be arrested. We'll bring the animals into the First Avenue jail, which has been renovated for housing animals. We then either enter them into our human-animal interaction program as programs dogs, or we adopt them out to the public.
So if people want to donate to the MASH unit or to help give supplies, is that something, you know how rescues will do that? They'll ask for donations to vet the dogs and to have the beds and food and this and that. Is MASH a possibility?
Yes, we accept in-kind donations, we accept cash donations. We have several partners in the Valley here in Phoenix that help us out with food and bedding and other things like that for the animals.
Now, this particular program works with female prison inmates, correct?
It's actually jail-housed female inmates. A jail term in county jail is you'll serve with a sentence of 1 year or less. Anything over a year, you'll actually go to prison. So they are inmates. We go through a screening process with our inmates. They're all volunteers to work here. So they actually apply for the position. Once they apply for the position, we go through their background, their institutional background and their charges.
What do you think it does for the human aspect of it?
It's actually pretty amazing. The healing while healing aspect of this program is very real. I saw some numbers about 5 years back. I don't know how accurate they are still today, but those numbers stated that over 90% of female individuals who are incarcerated were victims of domestic violence, abuse, or sexual abuse, typically at a very young age in life. So they come here to these animals that are also victims of abuse, and sometimes as heinous as sexual abuse with the animals. So they have that connection immediately, and these inmates work with these animals on a day-to-day basis. They provide all of the care for the animals here. We are here for the inmates' care. The inmates are here for the animal care. Obviously, we're here to assist and teach them how to fulfill that end of the aspect.
Right, so I am Tessa and this is Lucky. It's like known as a proven thing that working with animals is therapeutic, and it just makes it feel like it's not really jail. With MASH, we get to work with dogs that were abused or were fighting dogs and all different types of animals. Dogs are so loyal. Even the ones that we have that we know were from abuse and stuff like that, they're so loyal and they just want to be loved. And that's it. And as long as you do that, they love you unconditionally.
Have you heard of any stories or known specific inmates that have moved on, finished their sentence, and then you've heard that they've either adopted a dog that was adoptable through MASH?
We've had several inmates come back to us and adopt a dog that they may have bonded with while they were here working with them. We've had inmates actually go to work for shelters once they've left here. We've had inmates go on to be vet techs once they've left here. So our program has been pretty successful at turning inmates into productive citizens when they get out. I know that one of the medical schools that we partner with that assists us with our spay and neuters, we have an inmate actually attending their programs there now, a former inmate attending their programs there now to become a vet tech. You know that this person is really changing their life and they're really looking to improve their situation and change when they get out of here.
Despite the difficult things we hear and that we find out are going on with dogs in Arizona, we stay on the journey and continue to find people who inspire us with the work that they do every day to help the canine condition.
Hi, my name's Erin, and this is Noah. We adopted him from Freedom Tales like 8 months ago. I found out about Freedom Tales because I actually grew up with Jen, one of the people that worked there. We were friends, and so we reconnected on Facebook, and I saw that she was involved in this rescue, and then I started following the rescue. And so mainly, I guess it was Facebook. I found, the pictures of him on there, and I jumped at the chance. I submitted my application, I was the first one to do it, and then we waited for him to get big enough, and then we got him like a month later.
This is Bear, and I am Jennifer Qualls, and it's Gilbert, Arizona. I got him here. He was an owner surrender from a neighbor who was moving. I'd never met the neighbors before, but I'm known as the place to take any dog that needs taking in the neighborhood. But yeah, I found out later that she was surrendering him because he has crypto, which is a condition that makes him not breedable.
A lot of people are looking for dogs like this, and they go to breeders for them.
Oh no, there are so many purebreds in the shelters and in rescues, and there's a lot of breed-specific rescues. And there's amazing websites that people can look up their area, the gender, the age, the breed, everything they want in the dog, and a list of your area will come up. You can find purebreds all the time.
My name is Andrew. I am rescuing a dog today from Freedom Tales Rescue. My wife was actually searching online and she found him through Pet Finder. And then she came across him and he had such a beautiful face and we knew right away that was a dog for us.
Here's your adoption booklet.
Thank you so much.
Inside your booklet has everything that you need, your shot records, and it's just a thank you and a little information on your adoption.
Okay.
Your coupon book for $250 worth of coupons at PetSmart.
Oh.
And you get your free vet visit, free bag of food, free dog training, and then 2 months free pet insurance.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I appreciate all the help.
We're a foster-based rescue, which means all of our animals live in foster homes as a family member while they recover and get ready for adoption. It takes a certain commitment from the person to be able to foster a medical dog, because we're not like a typical rescue or the shelter where they come in, they have a hold time, 2 weeks, make sure they don't have kennel cough, and they're up for adoption. So it's a different type of person that fosters for a rescue like ours.
Hi, my name is Dave McClelland. I'm from Tempe, Arizona. I'm a foster for medical animals in need. This is our current foster. Oh, don't be our foster, Luigi. The reason why he came to us is he has some dental problems, and one of his eyes has a condition that makes it a little harder for other rescues to adopt him out due to the medical concerns that he has.
This is Sheldon. We're in Phoenix, Arizona. Sheldon was my second foster for the group, and I fell in love and ended up adopting him. He was 3 months old when he came into rescue, and he had some sort of trauma to his leg. It was deemed unusable, so he went into rescue for that. We ended up amputating his leg, and now he's a tripod.
Gemma had a humongous tumor. She was very afraid of all people. So she's very loving now to me, very committed. How could I not foster when I know that every day there are dogs being killed due to no room?
You have to be really creative in marketing them, basically. Like our bully breeds a lot of times, or the dogs that we know will be harder to place because they have a chronic medical condition. Even before they're cleared by the vet, we'll start marketing them. We'll get them on our website as coming soon or adoptable. get their bios done, start getting them to events if, it's something that they can still go to events, they're not contagious, they've had all their vaccinations.
I'm John Schill. I'm an attorney. I represent a lot of animals, do a lot of animal cases, and I'm an advocate for animals in Arizona.
When you get involved in the kind of law practice that you do and help out animals, you must have love for animals yourself, adopt animals, rescue animals.
Totally.
Tell me a little bit about your personal journey with rescue animals.
I started off with just one dog. I rescued through a rescue. I saw a post on Facebook that a Rottweiler was left alone in a house and the people walked away. So I went out with a rescue, lost our home pet foundation here in Arizona, and we rescued that dog, and his name was Rock. And then I adopted Petey, who is my little one-eyed dog. And through Petey's pack, I became more involved in social media and what's going on with animals here in Arizona. And every once in a while there would be a post about a dog that I thought was, very cute, I was interested in, I wanted to help the dog out. Well, I would get involved, but about 8 times out of 10, my involvement would mean I'd end up with the dog and not get the dog adopted out.
There's always homelessness of dogs everywhere we've gone, at least.
Sure.
But with the extreme heat, it seems like the cases would become more about extreme neglect and abuse of dogs, even if people own them and leave them out in the heat, in the backyards, front yards, wherever.
Sure, and I guess you're really talking about 2 different subjects. So you're talking about the dogs that are homeless out on the street, and then you're talking about the dogs that people have that are being neglected, and that's a big problem down here.
Is that punishable by law?
It is. It is under Arizona statutes. It is animal cruelty if you don't give shade, shelter, food to your animals. Now it's kind of vague. So long as there's adequate water, they won't prosecute. But the problem that you have, and there's been a couple cases in Arizona this year, is people have tied their dogs up on chains, which I'm totally against.
Of course.
But then when the chain becomes tangled, they can't reach their water then. Or they can't reach the shade, and then they suffer.
Do you believe that signing online petitions and the change.org, and does that help?
It depends what you're signing them for. If it's a case where I'm representing Mickey the Pitbull and 75,000 people sign a petition, I can't use that in court, so it doesn't help from that standpoint. But it does help that it gets the word out and it attracts more people to social media behind Mickey.
And just briefly, for viewers that are not familiar with Mickey, can you give us a brief synopsis of the incident?
Sure.
That happened?
Mickey is a dog. He's labeled a pit bull, but he's really a bulldog. That 2 years ago, he was chained up in the backyard in South Phoenix, out in the sun, as we just talked about, but out in the heat. And he had a bone. A boy came up to him, tried to take the bone away from him. This was a 4-year-old child that was not being supervised by an adult. Mickey growled. The child continued to take the bone from Mickey, and Mickey bit the child in the face, and it was a horrific bite to the face. His owners didn't want anything to do with him. They took him to the police station, said, "Here, you can have him." And then I was contacted from another group of attorneys that represents dogs nationwide called the Lexus Project. And they said, "This is going to be a very tough case. You want to take it on?" I said, "All right, we'll take it on." We were not Mickey's owners. We didn't represent Mickey's owners. So we had to create a trust for Mickey to give us what's called standing. In order to represent somebody in court, you have to have standing to represent them. So we went into court to represent Mickey. However, the judge said, "That's great that you're here to represent Mickey, but this trust was created after the bite. So you can't defend him as to his viciousness. You only can defend him to his sentencing." But we were able to get the court to agree not to euthanize him, not to kill Mickey.
Okay.
Okay. So the judge ruled that Mickey could never be adopted, that he would have to be in a sanctuary type facility. But it's not like living in a home. But that was the best we could do for him at the time. So Mickey went to MASH. We had the Mickey cam. He became a internet celebrity, I guess the best way to put it. I mean, at one time there was like 100,000 people watching Mickey on webcam. So, and he was there for about a year, but then he developed skin cancer. So we had to go back to the judge, and I asked him to be transferred to a medical facility where they can monitor him.
What's your opinion on why we see so much abuse of the canine condition in the United States?
Well, I think that's opening a whole, a spectrum. I mean, you have people that are well-intentioned who become hoarders who abuse the animals through their hoarding. Then you have the outright bad dog fighters out there. Then you have the people that, get a dog and it's their best friend for a couple of years, but then they forget about him and they chain him up outside and forget about him at 120-degree heat. But you also have well-intentioned people that, spoil their dogs rotten, and they do everything they can for the dog. They can't be without the dog. They take the dog with them to the mall and forget about him in 120 degrees heat and leave him locked up in the car, and the dog dies, you have a whole spectrum out there. I think, public awareness in a lot of areas will help.
We just drove out here based on a Facebook page or a post or a website. I contact them, I ask them, I tell them what we want to do, which is bring exposure to the need and the problem, and then other people who can help and want to help and have resources help. It's just basically building a network of people across the United States to help each other, because that way they can help the dogs.
When I don't know where to go, and I don't know where to turn to, I know at least that I got you. And when I'm feeling sad and lonely, and I need someone to hold me, I know at least that I got you. Doesn't turn out like I planned, then I need someone who understands what I'm going through. It takes a lot to keep up our defenses, broken hearts, white picket fences, and days gone by. But when there's nothing left to